pray? Matt, you pray for us?
Sure.
I'm sure you will. You always get quiet. Everybody's nervous about having this video on over here, but it's just like a couple people out there that we don't even know who they are, so we'll ignore them, but pray real loud, okay?
Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time to come together and learn how to defend ourselves in our culture in a godly way, God, and understanding the times around us, Lord Jesus. I pray that you would strengthen us, Jesus, to live for you, God. That anything that comes against us, Jesus, it wouldn't be strong enough to pull us down, but we would be able to fight and stand in our faith and run after you with all our lives. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Good prayer, Matt. That really encouraged me. Look at your syllabus and recognize that we're closing in on the end of this semester. Does everybody have their syllabus there? Because I'm going to make a couple of adjustments. If not, who doesn't have their syllabus with them? I'd suggest you take a note, take a paper out and write down what I'm going to say so you know what we're doing. This week is on the syllabus October 30th, and it says in here in-class videos. I'm not going to do those in class. How many of you, did you guys watch those? Anybody watch those? Anybody watch those? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and teach this because I don't want to use our time on the videos. The videos are very good. They're not very long, and so I would like you to go ahead and look at them. They're not going to take you long, and I'm cutting down something else, so go ahead and cover those at home, but let's go ahead and talk about it here. It's just not going to be a good use of our time, I don't think, to do that in class. But it did say today you were to read from an excerpt of a book called Beyond Belief to Convictions. Did you guys do that? Did you read that?
Yep.
Everybody read that? Read that? Right here, homework. Read excerpt from this book. Okay, this one. Whoa, did you read it?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot to mention that to you, but I'm expecting you to look at your assignment on here and get it and do it, because that's how you're going to understand what we're doing in this class. That book you are going to need to know for the test. You're going to need to know. Now I'm going to tell you what parts of it you need to know because I'm going to emphasize that in class this week. But that book, Beyond Belief to Convictions, has, I think, probably the best synopsis of what we're trying to learn today, and that's why I gave it to you. In fact, I was pretty excited. I know that book because I've studied it. It's been out for several years by Josh McDowell. And when I got ready for this class, I was just blown away. I went to the internet and I thought, boy, I don't want to make them buy that book. That would be silly to buy the book. I just want this little section. And sure enough, somebody had put the little section of that book I wanted in a PDF. The publisher had given us that part free. And so thank you to the publisher, we didn't have to buy the book. But Josh McDowell condensed down something that you guys absolutely need to understand because it's a dominant thought process you'll be up against, probably even more than some of these others we've talked about. And so we're going to go over that in just a few minutes. But if you haven't read it, you're going to need to read it for yourself. Okay? Next week it says over here, Unit Test 2 and class discussion of articles. What I will do is I will give you the test next week to take home. You will not do it in class. I don't want to waste our class time filling out tests when you can take it home. But it will be a closed book test. I will give you an idea of what you're going to need to know, but we're going to wait until next week when we have all of this body of material out there. You'll take the test home. You'll do it closed book. Do it by the honor system, and then you'll bring it back in. But you'll notice that what I want you to do next week is I want you to bring to class 3 articles to your class, to the class, for our discussion. What do you think I might be up to with this? What kind of articles? News articles? How would you get some? How are you going to find a news article? Huh?
You could use a newspaper.
You could use a newspaper. Online. So you're not going to have to go and subscribe or buy a newspaper. You can go online. You can look, and remember last week we talked about different kinds of news services. You could do, you could find MSNBC. That would be what we consider on the liberal side of news. CNN would be over on the liberal side of news. Name one that would be over on the conservative side. Fox News. There's a news service called WND, World Net Daily. There's another one called Charisma News, CHARISMA NEWS. You might want to write some of these down. Because what I want you to do is I want you to look at 3 different articles. Bring them in. When you bring this in, I want you to have highlighted some things you saw in these articles that demonstrated some worldview issues. Okay? So what kind of stories could you immediately get? This would be like a no-brainer to try to figure out. Immediately you could get one on like ISIS or something. Okay? Obviously that's Islamic. You cannot bring an example in only of Islam. Okay? We've had 6 of these on our worldview chart. I want you to have some that are representing or touching on issues from different worldviews. Does that make sense? So don't just bring me, 18 articles on Islam. We all kind of know that's big in the news and that wouldn't take you but a few seconds. But you can do one. But stretch yourself to say, which reasoning systems am I seeing in operation here? Which examples? It might be on the science, because we've looked at these viewpoints, these worldviews under different headings. Okay, so you might find an article that's talking about climate change. That was a big deal last week in the news. Have you guys seen that little commercial? It's like a pop-up commercial. I've seen it several times. The little girl. Have you seen the little girl commercial? You know what I'm talking about? Like a little 6-year-old with no teeth. And she's saying, why do you not care about climate change? It makes me mad. I mean, it's really like a trying to get your attention. Have you seen that one? Have you seen it pop up? It keeps popping up. It must be, I think it might be connected to my particular news service because I just keep seeing it every day. So if you see something that is a written thing, that's what I want you to bring in. But if you see even something that is like a little clip and you want to catalog those, our next semester, we're going to be doing quite a bit of this work. In fact, one of my goals for you is that you can help me with what I put out on Friday. In our Frontline Families, I send out these news articles on Friday and I make comments about it. By the time we get done next semester, I'm expecting that you guys could do some of this work for me. That you're going to find me the articles, and we're going to be able to evaluate them based on this stuff we've been learning. Okay? So we're going to try it out next week. We're going to bring in the articles, and I will also prep you with a test. You'll notice that your homework for the 13th is going to be to watch a classic sermon by a man named Francis Schaeffer. I'm warning you of this because you're going to want to balance your time. You now have your syllabus of what work you're going to have done in here. Some of you are in research class and you have a final paper due over there. So please don't say, oh, I didn't know about this. Well, you know right now what you need to have done. So if you want to go ahead and watch that Francis Schaeffer sermon now because you have a little more time on your hands, just go ahead and watch it. It's a classic. In fact, it's considered to be, this guy is going to be dressed old-fashioned, 1980s, old guy. I'll explain to you more about him later, but I want you to watch so that we can discuss it. You'll notice on November 20th, you're going to be turning in a 2-page reflection paper on this title, My Growth This Semester, Typed and Double-Spaced. I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but that'll be one of your final projects this semester. So I want you to be thinking about that. What's God doing in your life? This isn't going to be just, I'm expecting some thoughtfulness on this one, okay? What have you learned in this class and how has it helped you? So that's what we have left to do in here. It's not a whole huge amount of work if we will manage our time correctly. All right? All right, now let's go over here to what we're looking at today. Do you have your worldview chart with you? Have your worldview chart. We're looking again at Summit Ministries. If you don't have one of these and you're looking by video at this class, go to summitministries.org, click through the links and find their worldview chart. You can download it for free. And how many of you think this is a helpful chart? Is it beginning to make sense to you? Okay? Do you guys know anybody, as you've been learning this, are you putting any people that you know in any of these categories? Okay? What people are you putting? I see you saying yes today.
Well, we had a neighbor, he doesn't live next to us anymore, but he was like an evolutionist, and he was saying how humans were the epitome of all life and everything, and yeah, he was saying a lot of that stuff.
Okay, so was he completely a secular humanist? Did he follow just classically down this line, or do you really know?
Yeah, from what I saw.
From what you know?
Yeah.
Well,